All right, folks, we are in for a special treat here. Here we are at Paramath Niketan Ashram on the banks of the holy Ganges River in Rishikesh, India, International Yoga Festival. And we're here with Jose Calarco and Anna Forrest. And I've been really looking forward to this interview, learning more about your backgrounds, and I just want to thank you for this opportunity to have a conversation with you. So Anna, you are just a world-renowned yoga teacher, really for what, 40 years now, Forrest Yoga, 44 years.
Those 4 years matter.
Those 4 years matter, 44 years, and you really have combined yoga with deep healing, and along with Native American wisdom and a whole range of healing. You've been acknowledged by the city of Los Angeles for your contribution.
Yes, that was a big deal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, a yoga teacher being acknowledged by an entire city. You have a book on fierce medicine, and so you're really, really well established in yoga being personal transformation and healing. And Jose, for decades now, you have been working in the arts, performing arts. You've been working with a troupe in Australia, the Descendants
Aboriginal Dance Company, yeah.
And helping Aboriginal people get their arts and
culture to the world and keep the culture alive, because it is the world's oldest living culture. It goes back 40,000 years. So when people think that, the wisdom here in India being 5,000 years old, and we say, well, you know what, the Aboriginal people goes back 45. Not that it's any better or anything, but it was way before all religion and all philosophy. Yeah. So it's an amazing project, and it's a culture that needs to stay alive, but it's dying. It's dying, and it's very important for this to continue, for the world's sake as well, because the Aboriginal people have stories and knowledge that need to be shown to the world.
That's excellent.
They are the best keepers of the planet out of any nations. It's like they know how to be in balance and in alignment with nature so that they don't use up the resources. And we as a people, all our different races, we desperately need to learn that, because we are using up our resources at a horrifying rate, and we're poisoning our water and our air, and we're poisoning the earth, and we're living in that poison, and it's making us insane.
Okay, so that's all, yes, all of that's happening at an accelerated rate right now. And now you're providing opportunities for people to have transformational experiences, combining your background with yoga, your background with Aboriginal people, both your background with ceremony and healing. Yes. So tell us a little bit about what's the experience that you're creating for people who are coming into this opportunity with you.
Well, it's an experience you can't get anywhere else except Forrest Yoga, because unless you're Anna Forrest and Jose Calarco, you can try to copy it, but you can't, because everything I've learned in the last 40 years, everything Anna's ever learned, we bring into the yoga room now. And we don't just structure a class to be like a physical workout. It's more like a corroboree. A corroboree in Australia means a spiritual gathering, where people are coming to yoga, not so much, they're coming for the workout and that, but really they're coming out to sort out their spiritual problems. And people ultimately are doing yoga to try to find more balance and happiness. And the way Anna and I construct a class using music, prayer, invocation, meditation, and the yoga itself is carefully constructed like a movie. It has a beginning, a midpoint, and an ending, and everything that started in the beginning makes sense at the end, all the philosophy. And the invocation and meditation actually sets up the class so people can leave the neurotic and dysfunctional part of their mind and actually come into the present moment. And Anna and I really bring people into the present moment before we start the physical asana. And then at the end of the class, what happened in the beginning, we tie it up together. So each class has a theme.
It's like it's embraced. And we also, every class, we set an intent, and it could be something as vast as what I call romancing your spirit. This is like how to get up close, intimate, and sexy with your spirit. Or it could be working with your back injury. And the class is geared in a way to help you with that. The cues are like, you know, now take your breath, bring it into that area, and use the pose as good medicine to nourish that area so it comes into healing and balance. And this is, you know, we keep focusing people on it because our people have lost focus. We don't really have that skill anymore. We've also lost the ability to have our kinesthetic intelligence communicating clearly with us because we've gotten just stuck in our intellectual processes, but also our frenzies. And so it's a reconnection and a raising of the body IQ, of this kinesthetic intelligence, and bringing people back into feeling so their mind can quiet and go into another gear instead of always chattering. You know, just
and the
relief
music
of that.
does stuff that words can't. You know, you can talk all you like, but when you actually just do the music, you know, can fill in 1,000 words. And music is one of the few things that lights up the three parts of the brain, the motor, the auditory, and the visual. It connects the brain like a web. But we're not just talking about listening to music. We do music the indigenous way, where we sing into the bones, we sing into the flesh. And it's a whole different experience. And as I was saying before, we don't use kirtan music or any oms or any Indian influence.
So it's really an integration of First Peoples, wisdom, music, and culture, or spirituality, and yogic.
The arts. We bring in a lot of the arts. We have musicians in over 60 different cities. We have musicians where we work with. Some may be Spanish, some may be Native American, Maori.
We had a Hungarian violinist playing for us in Berlin.
So it's not just First People, like the arts have a lot to give yoga. You know, because arts is a real science in itself, and so we're bringing all sacred elements of arts and a wide range of music and the arts together, dancing as well. And we're just using medicine, we're using music and dance as medicine, not just for entertainment's sake.
Right, okay.
Though the music is beautiful, but also a lot of what we're bringing in here is the wisdom that we've accrued from working this life for so long, because we're both elders in our field. And it's not so much book knowledge, it's what we've experienced, what we found worked. And neither one of us carry along a whole bunch of stuff just because it's supposed to go with it. It's like if it doesn't work, we don't have the room to carry it. And so we're constantly in a creation process too.
Okay, and what's the transformation you see that happens when people go through this?
Oh, each class we see it. People come in, they're in their busy mind or whatever, or they're tired, or they're in a bad mood, or they're in their heartbreak, and they get a whole different...
There's a sense of hope.
When they're done.
We give people a sense of hope, like, hey, it's not all, you know, it's not all bad. There is a sense of hope as well, and there's been miraculous, and I do mean miraculous, healings taking place. People who had partial hearing now have 80% hearing. All sorts of...
Actually, she was all the way deaf in that ear.
Yeah, all the way deaf. But I'm playing it down a little, but there has been miraculous healing taking place because we're bringing in techniques that are old, but it's not just bringing in old techniques, it's the person who are bringing them in.
Well, you two are, I mean, you're holding space, and there's probably a lot going on in multiple different dimensions, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And, you know, we see people come in whatever state they're in, and everyone shifts. They may not shift as much as they think, or it may be a partial healing, but there's a lightening up process, there's a centeredness, there is a sweetness, and there's an opening to love. And I say that very carefully, because in the yoga world it's like, la la, I love, you know, it's like that sort of spiritual diabetes thing, and that is not what I'm talking about. There is a genuine reconnection for a desire to live and for feeling the love of what just happened. And does everyone get that every single time? Everyone goes through shift, every single person. Do they all get to this big orgasm of love? Not every single time, but often. You know, that's that's an advanced pose.
Each person walks out with
Advanced pose,
It
orgasm of
is.
love is an advanced pose.
Yes.
But everyone does walk out of our forest yoga classes with a spring in their step and their own sense of hope. We don't pretend that we are the gurus or anything like that. We give them the chance to be their own guru, the tools to be their own guru, and how to use the magic.
How to use the healing tools. Like in our teacher training courses, we teach people how to start running their own ceremonies so that they can also bring a beginning level ceremony to the people that they teach.
Okay, and so there's thousands of certified Forrest yoga teachers, and
I haven't
But
counted.
there's only one Anna and Jose.
right, and yet you're training folks also to be able to have ceremony, and so it really becomes a sacred experience.
Yes, we're teaching them at the level that they can carry.
Okay.
And what we carry, what they carry is different. We don't expect our people to carry what we're carrying. We expect them to set the intent, maybe sing one of the simple medicine songs that we've taught them, because people learning to use their voice is beautiful and powerful. And to give us back the gift of song, because so many people have taught like, oh, you can't sing, therefore you can't sing, period. And one of the things I love about the indigenous people is everybody sings, everybody dances. And of course there's extraordinary singers and extraordinary dancers, but everybody does it. And for many of our cultures, like in the US, in Australia, most of the people can't do that unless they're drunk, which is like, no, this is not the right path. So to give back that song, to give back being able to use your voice that way, that's also part of the medicine.
But the experience Anna and I give, we must make this clear, is not with all Forrest yoga teachers.
Okay.
Because what I bring with the songs and dances and what I do, the others don't have permission to do that.
And you're leading these experiences around the world at this point. They can go to your website.
www.forrestyoga.com, and it's listed all there.
Okay.
And we also have a pretty strong Facebook presence, and Jose Calarco on Facebook and Instagram, and so there's lots of places people can get information and little medicine stories and pictures of the beautiful places that we've been.
And all
stuff.
our music is on Instagram now as well.
Nice.
And iTunes.
Oh, sorry, iTunes. But we
Okay.
have lots of stuff on Instagram as well.
So what kind of insight can you offer someone before they have a chance to come into one of your experiences? Just a little gem of insight, something they can start integrating in their life right now.
I got two things that they can do right now.
Okay.
One is start learning how to deep breathe, and this is how you do it. Will you do this with me?
Yeah, please.
Put your hands on your ribs. Will you do this with
All
me
right.
too, Jose? Even though you know it? Now, instead of just inhaling, filling up the belly or up into the chest, I want you to inhale and spread your lungs, because they're the wings of your body, of your heart. Spread them sideways. Okay, now pause. Now take your shoulders on down. Now exhale and pull the belly in. Breathe through your nose. Keep pulling your belly until you're empty. Yeah. Now inhale, spread your ribs. And this time leave your shoulders down so you don't need that stressing. Keep spreading the ribs. It's like taking out those flight feathers, spreading them out. Yeah. And the eyebrows go up. And then exhale, full belly in. So start breathing deeply like that. So if you wake up in the morning and you take your morning pee and then you sit down and do 10 of those breaths, that's a great start. Anytime during the day when you can remember it and you have a moment, do that. Whenever you're in a moment of stress, start breathing deeply. And then here's this other step. Do active feet, which is spread the feet out and push the balls of the feet and the heels down so you connect down to the earth and you literally are getting grounded. So you're not getting spun out in your thinking or in your fears.
Okay.
So deep breathing, active feet.
All right. Deep breathing, expanding the lungs out, breathing in through the
ribs.
nose.
Spread your wings.
Spread the wings, and then exhale and pull the
Pull the
stomach
belly
in. Exhale through the nose.
And if your nose is clogged up, use your mouth.
Okay.
We have two breathing mechanisms. So that's two things to do instant. On a little wider span, my request to our people is stop poisoning yourself.
Please say more.
It's like we poison ourselves with what we eat. We eat dead, burnt animals, and we bring in that suffering and the carcinogens, and we have that suffering. We have the drugs that the animals are fed in our bodies, and it wrecks our immune system, and it throws off our endocrine system. So with what we eat, we can either be nourishing ourselves or poisoning ourselves. Stop it with the drugs and the alcohol and the cigarettes and the ice and the crack and the cocaine and on and on. Stop. Stop it with the pornography. If you ever want to connect with someone in ecstasy and you have pornography running through your mind, you poison the experience and you poison yourself and your partner. Stop it.
So we're talking basic yama and niyama.
Yes, it's very much start to clean it up. Stop poisoning yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a really good principle. It's like when you go to reach for a beer, like, can you reach for something else that's better to drink instead of something that's going to make you dull, stupid, obnoxious, and trash your kidneys and adrenal glands and your liver?
Okay.
And mine is to become a vegan, and the second one is to begin a program of insight. And a program of insight could be starting music lessons, dance lessons,
Forrest
writing,
yoga.
forest yoga. Begin some program of insight and stick to it, and go vegan.
Okay.
2 big tips for the world.
And I'd like you to say the 3 main reasons why on this vegan.
The vegan, there's 3 reasons we should become vegan. First is compassion. Second is to save the environment. And third, to save yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, last question. What does it mean to you now that we have an International Day of Yoga?
That's actually a very deep question for me because I've been in this field for so long, so I've seen it go through lots of different waves, like the wave with the Beatles and all that. And people ask me something a little off base, like, well, what do you think now that yoga's like out all over in the world and it's in gyms and that? And I just think it's absolutely great, because if we could get all of our people doing yoga just as a daily maintenance of a mind clearing and the cellular clearing and the spiritual connection, then our people would start to come into healing and come into alignment. My spirit pledge is to do my part in mending the hoop of the people. And I've been doing this for 44 years. So when we have a day that's dedicated to yoga and to introducing people to new yoga teachers and different methods and beautiful music, it's just like, you know, and being here in this city of yogis is amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. There's a city dedicated to the study of yoga and the practitioners are here.
Yeah. It is
I
quite
love that.
beautiful.
I love it. But I want it to come not just in Rishikesh or not just in Australia, but our whole world needs this medicine. They really do.
Yeah.
And they may think it's going to conflict with their religion or conflict with that. It's like what it's going to do is help you get a handle on and dismantle your addictions and your sickening behaviors so you can begin to plunge into the great mystery of what's your life really about. And that's so exciting.
Excellent, wonderful, beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose, Anna. Namaste.
Namaste.
And what we say in Native American
Yes.
way is, this ceremony is now finished in beauty. Ahoma Takuyasin.